Oh yeah, ay. When you need a hand and you don't know why, just know that I'll be there. When the road is long and you feel so tired, just know that I'll be there. I'll be there, I'll be there, I'll be there,
Sorry, what was that? Oh, hey, what's she doing? I figured out a way that I can listen to some music that might have copyright issues and not have an issue on the video. Sorry, I can't share. But, how you doing? So, nice to see you YouTube people. And just John Reagan here with E-Powersport. Wanted to come in and talk today about something, not really this weekend, but something in the perception of some of the commentary that I got over some of the things that happened this weekend. And one of the most interesting things to me was, we're going to talk about a word today. The word of the day is complacency. Okay, so let's talk about some complacency. So it's a dangerous word. All right, this one word, that's two, but this one word is so dangerous that corporations have paid me lots of money to help their teams be non-complacent. I literally have gone in and run a 6-month program in a recruiting team whereby I was the aggregator, or aggravator, you might say, and getting people out of their complacency modes and a little scared about maybe I might take their job. So it worked great. Actually, the program was awesome. We got their teams up, I think it was 20-25% in their production rates, so it was really nice. But yeah, complacency is a dangerous thing, and as a society, as an American society, for us, it's even more dangerous. And the reason I bring this up is because there is a phrase out there, and it could apply to any other country, even our own. It can apply to, because I'll tell you, I've experienced this myself. But this phrase, it ingrains this complacency in your mind. It makes you feel ease and comfort that you are the best. All right, I got news for you. We're the best at some things, but there's a lot of shit we are not the best at. and we really stroke ourselves over this. And the reason I bring it up is because the phrase that really made me think about this and really turned my corporate training, corporate strategy head on was cheap Chinese crap. All right. Now, I hate this phrase. I've heard this phrase my whole life. I grew up on Guam for 6 years, and we would get things, out in town that were made in China or even made in Japan. And there was always this perception that it was a step down. But I'll tell you, the Transformers I got from Japan, the Transformer toys, were freaking metal and screws. They were solid. The ones I got made here in America were plastic and broke. So we can talk. It's just an interesting thing to me because when you imbibe a society with terminology and phrases, those seep into the subconscious mindset. So we become complacent by saying these phrases to ourselves when we see something. Oh, it's just cheap Chinese stuff. It's like, no, it's not. This bike is freaking solid. I mean, the mountain bikes are coming out with the frames. Each stage is getting better and better. Every time we get an e-enduro delivered to us, it is just one step better than the one we got before. And whether that one step is just the way they wrapped it, maybe they took a little extra time in running the lines so they're all like nice and clean instead of wrapped all over each other, it just gets better. And the pricing just keeps getting better. And so, it's one thing to say those things, but it's another for it to be a reality. And there is no reality. Just so you know, there is no reality where any country is not producing cheap crap. Okay, we produce cheap crap. Mexico produces cheap crap. Canada produces cheap crap. We all produce cheap crap. Why? Because cheap crap sells. let's be real. You know, every country has a section where they produce cheap crap. Whatever country that you are, you know, there's a group that produces cheap crap. So, and then there's mid-grade, and then there's high-end quality. I mean, that's just normal, right? So the real thing you need to look at is, what is the quality level? Not where, I mean, quite honestly, where something made is a matter of internal pride. And internal pride is great as long as it continues to drive you, all right? But when that pride develops into a big ball of complacency, and you sit down with your big ball of complacency, and you're stroking your complacency, and you're watching TV in a big armchair, eating a big old fat bucket of KFC, and you're going, wow, the Chinese are really doing a lot of cool shit. It's because of what you're stroking, your complacency. You cannot, as a society, we cannot sit down and think, oh, well, we're just so much better than them, so we don't have to do anything. We don't have to move forward because we're just better. It's ignorance, and it really turns into a level of apathy that is just horrible. So complacency, when we look at it in corporations, we do everything we can to squash complacency, even shaking people up. Right? We'll go, like I said, I was part of a program where I went into the company, and my sole job, according to my director, was to scare the people that they might lose their job and I might take it. So complacency is such a drain of efforts and production that companies have literally hired me to shake people up. All right? So think about that for a minute. In the corporate world, all right, if complacency is so dangerous there, how much more dangerous is it to us as a society to pat ourselves on the back and make ourselves feel so comfortable that we can become complacent with moderate phrases placed within our vernaculars? I would say, when you look at these things, don't look at them in the sense of, oh, it's from this country, or oh, it's from that country. Look at it with the knowledge of how it was built. And if you need to go get that knowledge, go get it. Go out. The internet's a beautiful thing. You can look up anything you want on Google. Well, almost anything. I mean, but, you know, you can look up what a good aluminum weld looks like. You can look up what a good steel weld looks like. You can look up what are good numbers for an electric motor. What are good bikes? What are ones that people, I mean, you can do some research before you buy something, before you have your complacent phrase guide your decision making. All right. So yeah, so it just, the more I thought about it this morning, the more I was just like, as you can tell, it's like my coffee chat in, but the more I got to the point where it's not just dangerous in the sense of a consumer. It's dangerous, or even a corporate setting. It's dangerous in a societal sense because it makes us sit back and do nothing. It makes us feel like we're in the best spot and we don't have to move forward. And, you know, I'm hardly complacent. There are times I've felt beaten up doing this, but complacency is, you know, it's always about moving this thing forward. It's always about making them better. It's always about getting your feedback as a customer, taking that feedback and getting it to the companies so they can make the improvements they need to get you the products you want and the things that will make you happy and the things that will be useful to you. So I think, you know, I guess maybe because I've worked so hard with companies, right, over the last 20 years, to squash complacency and really help to drive production and performance. So maybe that's why I look at this and I think, man, I gotta say something to people, because on the whole, right, it's gonna be dangerous to us as a country to be so complacent. To think that whatever we produce is just going to be the best and that's just it. Or to think that, you know, we are just the best even though we're not really doing anything to be the best. Or to think that other countries, you know, just because they're another country, can't catch up to us or even surpass us, right? So, yeah, the next time you look at something and you think cheap, insert country name crap, you might want to check yourself and think about, is it? Or is it just a complacent phrase that makes me feel better because it's actually something really badass? Okay. So yeah, the word for today, kids, is complacency. Whenever you see it, call it out. Whenever it happens, say, hey, complacency. We can't be complacent, and make moves to make things better. So, I hope that helps. That's my gig for the day. Y'all be safe out there. I'm gonna do some repairs and do some rides. Woo!
Know that I'll be there. I'll be there. I'll be there. I'll be there. I'll be there.